Today, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to start paying cash for your cars. This isn't hard. It's very simple to understand. It just takes a little bit of discipline. How do I know it works? Well, because math doesn't lie and because I've done it myself. So if you want to be able to walk in and write a check for $20, $30, or even $40,000 for your vehicle, you need to watch this video and follow these simple to understand steps. I'm Brad, and my goal is to bring peace to your finance and tax responsibilities. Part of the way I do that is through these videos on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see future videos, browse the old ones, make comments, give me your feedback. Love to hear more from you. Let's get started. Now, if you are like the majority of Americans, you have a car payment. I was once told you can't not have a car payment. I was leading a personal finance class in a small group and was talking about how to save and pay cash for your cars. And the person said, you can't not have a car payment. And I thought,
what? That's crazy.
That is crazy. And I got to thinking about it. And, that statement is true if you have a couple of factors. But if you change those factors, then that's a completely false statement. So those factors are your income level and the type of car that you want to drive. So if you want to go get a brand new F-150, maybe $55,000 car, and you make $40,000 a year, and you have no other savings or windfall or win the lottery or inheritance, then you're right. You can't not have a car payment because you don't make enough money, you don't have enough money to afford that vehicle. But if you are willing to drive a vehicle not as nice as a 2019, 2020 F-150, you're willing to go 10 years old, or however, based on the amount of money you have right now to afford to pay cash for a used vehicle, then you can start there, save up enough to eventually pay $25,000, $35,000 cash for a new vehicle. And I'm going to show you how to do that. The average car loan right now in America is $23,500. That is the average car loan. That is a lot of money. And most people can't even imagine writing a check for that much money to purchase a car. And I understand. That's a large check. Haven't written very many of those checks myself. But I have done it because I followed this method of paying cash for my cars, and you will be able to also. Now, for a new car, it's actually higher than that. So if you're going to buy a new car and you're going to finance it, right now in America, the average new car loan that people have is about $32,000. Again, this might be half of your annual income. It might be all of your annual income. That is a lot of money. And these cars are assets that, as you know, go down in value every single time you get behind the wheel. In fact, they go down in value. The new car, when you drive it off the lot, you lose roughly 10, 15% of the value of that vehicle immediately because you've driven it off the lot. Now, you're also paying interest on these loans. And so we'll get a little bit into that in a minute. But right now in America, there's about $1.2 trillion of automobile debt in America. 1.2 trillion. That makes up 10% of all debt, including home mortgages. And it is a ton of debt on a vehicle, something that will get you from point A to point B. So the average price of a new car right now, the average price is $37,000. Now I get it. Vehicles are expensive. The average price on a used vehicle right now is $20,000. Now again, that's average, so we're using some rough numbers here. That is a lot, You're sitting there thinking, I am never going to be able to save enough money to pay cash for my vehicles, Brad. I'm stuck in this car debt, car payment cycle that I'm never going to be able to get out of. Well, hang on, keep listening. I'm getting there, and maybe I should do it a little bit faster, but we're going to have you paying $25,000 to $35,000 cash for a used or new vehicle in just 6 years. 6 years, it's a long time, right? Not when you think about it, because we have stepping stones at 2 and 4 years that are going to get us there. So what we have here is the average loan term is about 6 years. So if you can take out a loan for 6 years, maybe you don't drive the car that long, you swap it out, you roll that loan into a new vehicle. That is the worst you can do, is to roll that loan into another vehicle. Now you owe more than what your vehicle is worth, which happens a lot, especially on new vehicles, because the average down payment, if you can see on a new vehicle, the loan is $32,000, the price is $37,000. These are averages, which means the average person is putting down a $5,000 down payment on a new vehicle. That car is worth less than what you owe on it the moment you drive it off the lot, most likely, and certainly within the first year. So we do not want to be upside down in a loan where if we had to, we could not afford that car anymore and we needed to sell it, and we did sell it, we would not get enough money to pay the loan off. We would still owe money. We do not want to be in that situation. So here we go. Let me take some of this out real quick. So now that we've taken that out, we are going to look at an average. We're going to average the used and new. So we're right there, right around where many of you might be. We're going to borrow $27,000 over 6 years at 7.5% interest. Now, when we do this, we're in the average for about everything. So our purchase price is in the middle of the average used car price and the new used car price that people take out loans for. Our interest rate of 7.5% is a little bit better than average. The average interest rate that people are paying on their car loans right now is 8.3%. Now that range actually goes from 5.3% if you have a 720 or better credit score, all the way to 21% interest on a car loan if your credit score is about 560 or less. That is crazy. That's credit card interest rates, which we'll have to get into in another video, because you do not want to be paying 21% interest on anything. This is what we're going to use. This, as you can see right here in the amortization schedule, we'll scroll down a little bit. Your car payment on this loan of $27,000 over 6 years, 7.5% interest, your car payment will be this $466.83. Scroll down to the last page, you will see that for your $27,000 car, you'll pay $6,600 in interest, which is going to make your car that much more expensive over the 6 years. And so this is average. So now the big question is, how am I going to pay cash for a car? So let's wipe this off again. Again, the question, how can I pay cash for a car? They cost so much. I've got to borrow the money. I've got to have the car payment. It's just something I got to do. I got to have a reliable car to get me to my job so I can make money to keep paying my car payment. It's a loop you don't want to be in. All right. So how can I pay cash for a $20,000 car? This is the goal. We are trying to get $20,000 to pay cash for a vehicle. Now, if you remember, your car payment was $466 a month. So you're already paying $466 a month, maybe more, maybe a little bit less. That's all right. For your car. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that car. Or maybe you have an old junk car and you're Googling because you're like, hey, I got to figure out, I need a new car. This thing's dying. What do I do? Don't go buy the car and take the car payment. Don't do that. Watch the rest of this video. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of the car you have, or you're going to avoid buying a new or expensive used car, and you're going to keep what you have, or if you need to, you're going to go buy a $5,000 car. So you are going to purchase a $5,000 used vehicle. Yes, someone else has driven this car. Yes, their settings are in the vehicle. You have to wipe those out and set them yourselves. Or maybe this vehicle doesn't have any settings, doesn't have any preset seat movement, doesn't have any heat seat warmers in it. You're going to have to sacrifice now to reap the benefits later. This isn't a long sacrifice. Again, it's a couple of years. Buy a used vehicle for $5,000. You say, Brad, it's going to cost me more in repairs and maintenance to buy that piece of junk than it is to have a new car and pay interest on it because I get the warranty. They take care of the maintenance for me. I got no worries. I'm not going to break down the side of the road. Look, get Geico car insurance. Pay an extra $7 every 6 months for roadside assistance if you're that worried. I used it a couple of months ago. They were out there like that. Simple, piece of cake, do it. It's the only time I've ever had to use roadside assistance, and I've always driven used cars. Sometimes I've paid less than that and not been stranded. So this is what I looked up. I live in Orlando. I looked up within 50 miles of me at $5,000, and these are some of the cars that you can get for that price. Now I checked them. Some of them offer Carfax, some don't. Some, they look like they're great quality cars. Now again, tips on buying a used car, maybe I'll have to do another video for that, but basically just use common sense. Get the Carfax. It's not that expensive. Get it. You'll be glad you did. Maybe get the auto check, one or the other, both even would be great. Walk around the car, look at it for obvious stuff. I'm not a mechanic. I pop the hood. I tell the guy, look, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to make sure there's nothing obvious that's screwed up with this thing. Check it for leaks underneath. Test drive it. If it feels good, then it's probably all right now. Now, also, read the person selling the car. I've walked away from a car before just because I didn't feel right about the person selling it. That's fine. Again, common sense here. You're only going to drive this car for 2 years. It's got to get you from point A to point B for 2 years. That is it. So, you've got rid of your car. You've got this piece of junk. Again, we just looked. Some of them aren't really pieces of junk. You'd be all right with a decent used car for $5,000. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that car payment. Remember, it's $466 a month. So we're going to round that down quite a bit to $425. So, it's about $40 a month less than what your car payment was. You can go get Disney Plus. You can go get Hulu Plus. Whatever you want to do. Stream, binge your Netflix. You got a little bit of $40, a little bit of extra money there per month to spend so you can go watch Lion King on Disney Plus. So you're going to take $425 per month that you now do not have to give to the bank or to the auto dealership, and you're going to save it in an account. You're going to save that for 2 years. So that is going to be 24 months. You're going to save $425 a month by not making a car payment. That is going to be $10,200. Now, this used vehicle you got, it's going to depreciate as you drive it. You're going to add miles to it. The value is going to go down. So we're going to say on average, it's going to go down 15% per year. That is high, all right? This vehicle, $5,000, I once bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee, paid $3,600 for it, drove it for 7 years, put 60,000 miles on it, and it went from $3,600, I sold it for $2,500. So this is possible. The cheaper the car, the less it's going to depreciate over those 2 years, as long as it still runs, it's still in decent condition. Now get your oil changes, take care of your car so that you can sell it when the time comes. But we're going to use that 15% because I want to be conservative. I want to show you this is absolutely possible. So if that goes down in value at 15% per year for 2 years, that car is going to be worth $3,500 in 2 years. When you decide to sell it, you're going to add the $10,200 that you saved over 2 years to the $3,500 you got from selling that car, and you will have $13,700 cash to buy a new used vehicle 2 years from today. $13,700. You're almost at $20,000 already. Have you ever written a check for $13,700? Most people haven't. That is a lot of money. You're going to go buy that car and you're going to feel great about it because you own it. You've got the title in your closet, in your file cabinet to that vehicle, and it is yours. Purchase that vehicle. Again, $13,700. Here's a few vehicles within 50 miles of Orlando that I found for $13,700. Again, they're decent, they're in good shape, they're not your brand new F-150. Some of them have Bluetooth though, they have power seats, you can find some with leather. So you've got some options here. They are reliable. They're not gonna strand you every other day. You're not gonna be spending thousands of dollars in maintenance. Don't send me comments if you got the bum car. Again, disclaimer, I can't guarantee you're not gonna get one, but the odds are in your favor that this car is not gonna cost you more than buying a new car and financing it will cost you. So back on track. This is 2 years from now. You're getting rid of that junk car that you drove. Again, wasn't that bad. For 2 years, you're getting a $13,700 used vehicle, quality vehicle now. We're actually liking this vehicle. You may not even want to turn around and get rid of that in 2 years. But let's say you do. You've got expensive, high quality taste because you've been driving those new vehicles around. And so 4 years and another 2 years from now, you're going to take a $13,700 car, again, assuming that high 15% depreciation per year for 2 years, you're going to be able to sell that for $9,600. Put that thing on Craigslist, put it on Auto Trader, get your $9,600. Now, when you sell a vehicle that you own outright, that is cash or check that you take to your bank and you deposit it. Cash that you have. You also have another $425 over 2 years that you've been saving. That's another $10,200. So we now have $19,800 to go buy a quality used car. If you remember, this was the average used car price. So you are buying the average used car. It's not 10 years old. It doesn't have 150,000 miles on it. These are a couple of cars you can find for $19,800. And again, they have lower mileage. They're later model years. You're getting a good quality car. Maybe this is where you want to stop. You want to save what you need now to buy this every few years. We'll get into what that would be in a minute. But for now, we're going to carry this for just 2 more years to see where we'll be 2 years from now. But if you see, we've already reached our goal. Essentially, we're paying $20,000 cash for a car that we own outright 4 years from today. That is not that far away. You can do it, I promise. Now, if you want to go 2 more years to the 6-year mark, we know we're going to have another $10,200 saved up at $425 over 24 months. Our $19,800 car, again, 50% depreciation per year. Now, we're getting closer to actual depreciation because the more expensive car, the faster that car is going to drop in value as you use it. So we definitely want to be using that 15% on this one, that $19,800 car. We're going to say we're going to sell it now for $14,000. So you can see that one took a hit of about $5,800, which is more than what that one was even worth when we bought it. So depreciation is hitting you a little bit harder now. It stings a little bit more, but that's okay because you have the money here. And in 6 years, you're going to go out and you're going to spend $24,200 on a used car. 6 years. $24,000, you're going to write cash. It's going to be a beautiful, certified from the dealer used vehicle that comes with a 2-year warranty on it maybe. So you're back into that warranty position. Now, I want to show you, now that you have this car, you don't have to be turning your car around every 2 years. You could absolutely, if you like to change cars every 2 years, you're taking a hit on depreciation. The longer you hold on to the vehicle, the better value, the better financial decision it's going to be. However, you've got the cash, you're saving it, it's fine. You can turn this car around every 2 years. You can keep doing this, and you'll keep stepping up the vehicle that you have until you get to that Mercedes that you really want. Or let's say you now have this car. It's quality. You know, you bought it with 30,000 miles on it. It's got that 2-year warranty. You're going to hang on to it for 7 years. All right. So we're going to drive that car for 7 years. Now I get it. It's a long time. Maybe you don't want to hang on to your car that long. But in 7 years, you will have saved at $425 a month, $35,700. So you've saved $35,700 in 7 years, and you still have this car. Now, I didn't really calculate what that would depreciate to, but over 7 years, it's not going to be worth nothing. Let's say it's still worth $5,000. It's probably going to be worth more than that, but let's say that car's still worth $5,000. You're going to have $40,700 to go buy the car that you want. Now you're looking at brand new vehicles. Again, in 7 years, they're probably going to be worth more than that. The value keeps going up and up and up, but there'll still be plenty around for that. You're still not looking at the brand new F-150, but again, if you had a brand new F-150 and you're making a car payment on that, that car payment is going to be well north of $425. I mean, you're going to be looking at $900 to $1,000 plus in car payments if you're driving a brand new F-150. And all that means is if you get rid of it, you do this plan, these numbers will be significantly higher as you save $900 to $1,000 plus per month to go buy cash for a car. This will happen much quicker for you. So again, don't buy the car with debt. It's going to cost you in interest. You're going to be able to save the money. You're going to be able to get to the point where you're writing a check in the dealership. Hey, I'll give you $40,000 out the door if you give me that car today. I'll write the check. You can do this. I have done it. It works. And it works because you are disciplined and you're just saving what you would have spent on a car anyway. You don't have to get a raise. You don't have to win the lottery. You don't have to be making a ton of money. You can do this because right now, let's say this number, you're like, wow, that's so much, Brad. I can't even do $425. My car payment's like $200 a month because I don't make that much. Well, just drop these numbers down like we did for the guy with the F-150. His increase, you drop these down to $200. You get rid of your car. You buy a car used in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. You start saving your $200 a month car payment. You will get to a point where whatever that car that costs only $200 a month for your car payment is, you'll get to a point in about the same amount of time where you could buy that car, not the one we're talking about here in this example for $40,000, but that car that you have a $200 car payment on, you'll get to the point where you can pay cash for that car within the 4 to 6 year range if you follow this same model by getting rid of your car, buying something cheap, and saving your car payment to pay cash for a car. Now again, if you need to, if you don't have the $5,000, then you could drop this down a little bit, buy a cheap used car, borrow as little as possible, and get that car payment down low, and whatever the difference is, start saving it. The 2, the 4, the 6 year mark, upgrade, or hang on to it even more. If you can hang on to that $5,000 used car until year 4 or even year 6, well, obviously when you sell the car, it's only going to be worth $3,000, $2,000, maybe $1,000, even if it goes to 0. At the 6 year mark, you're going to have close to $35,000. You'll have somewhere around $30,000 at the 6 year mark, even if that car went to 0. So the longer you hang on to that first cheap car, the faster you save, the less depreciation hit you take by buying these more expensive cars, and the quicker you can do it. So all that to say, it's possible. You can do this. I haven't had a car payment, and you can do that too. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell so you get notifications, or you can get more videos like these that help bring peace to your finance and tax responsibilities. I really hope that by getting rid of that car debt, you can sleep better at night. You can know that you own your car outright. You can experience that thrill of going in, writing a check for that car, and owning it. And you're going to feel so much better driving it than you do knowing that one with all the bells and whistles isn't yours. It's the bank's, and you have to pay $400, $500, $800, $1,000 a month on that thing to get all those bells and whistles. This is going to be a much better situation. I guarantee it. So don't forget to comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you disagree, if you agree, if you're glad, if you've done this. Comment for others so that they can see that it's possible. It's not just me. I mean, it works. You can do it. So subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I'll be putting them out every week.